Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Chris, your NFL writer here at OccupyFantasy.com, here with some NFL DFS picks and tips for the Week 6 slates on FanDuel and DraftKings. Talking about the running back position in this video for Week 6. Dropping position previews every single week throughout the rest of the season, so if you like that, please make sure you're subscribed to the channel below. You'll get notified when we have a new video for you to check out. If you like this video, we'd really appreciate it if you give us a thumbs up on the video as well. Do you have any questions about running backs on this slate? Please leave them in the comment section below. That's the easiest place for us to reply to you and have a conversation about your favorite running back you want to know more about. You can also consider joining our Discord, where you can have conversations with other Occupy staff members, as well as members of Occupy Fantasy Discord, about the upcoming NFL action that's going on, as well as the other sports that are starting to heat up. You know, we're in the middle of Major League Baseball playoffs, NBA preseason, NHL season just kicked off, so definitely a lot going on in the Occupy Discord for you to check out if that is your thing. Running back, kind of as always, starts to become this position in DFS where we either lock in, expected volume from true studs at the top of the salary tier, running backs that are thrust into starting roles due to injuries and role changes, or a combination of both. And I think this week, much like last week, is going to feel very similar. Last week we saw a lot of people rush to get Alexander Mattison in from the Vikings once we learned that Dalvin Cook was not going to play. In fact, I know we advocated for our subscribers, readers, and everything like that to do that with Alexander Mattison. This week, a couple of running backs are benefiting from, role changes due to injury. Again, unfortunate for the guys ahead of them, but for our purposes in DFS, it creates situations we can leverage. I think the first and best place on this slate is Daryl Williams with the Kansas City Chiefs. Daryl should be the guy. Clyde Edwards-Helaire gets hurt middle of third quarter against the Bills on Sunday Night Football. Daryl had 2 carries and 4 targets after CH got hurt. It's just 1 target for Jerick McKinnon. Very clearly indicating to us that Daryl is ahead of Jerick on their depth chart. And even, going back to last year, I know it was with a different team, but Jerick was used very carefully by the 49ers staff last year because of some historical knee injuries that he's suffered. We'll see if Andy Reid and the Chiefs treat him the same way. But it looks like for the next few weeks, Daryl Williams will be the primary running back here for the Kansas City Chiefs. 4,900 here on DraftKings is a great price. On FanDuel, it's even better. He's just 5,200. That may be just pure almost lock button status for you MME players over on the FanDuel side of things at that low price, considering the fact that Kansas City is a favored team against Washington, favored by quite a bit of a touchdown in a 55-point total game. We're looking at a 29th ranked rush defense, 31st ranked defense defending running back passing routes. So Daryl should have a strong opportunity to absolutely smash at a low price in all formats here in Week 6 in DFS. Look for him to get about 15 carries, in the neighborhood of like 2 to 3 targets. You'll certainly take that at his price. It's not that he's a bad play, and it's not that, Devonta Booker, it's not that he's like a completely terrible play in his own right. It's just, I think the way that this slate's probably going to go is you'll pick one value running back, and you probably should pick Daryl over Devonta. Now, that being said, Booker had 16 carries, 3 targets against the Cowboys after Saquon got hurt in the first quarter. Very clearly the role belongs to him for the Giants. It's just the big difference here is, unlike Daryl, Devonta is, a giant underdog, 10.5 point underdog against the Rams, facing a much better defense against both, the running game and running backs in the passing game. So while Devonta Booker was definitely a popular waiver wire choice, season-long leagues, still a very good DFS play, the difference here is that Daryl Williams just might be a great DFS play versus Booker being just a good DFS play. So both on our radar this week. Obviously, keep an eye out for our daily plug when it comes out on Friday for how we really view the situation. But I'm telling you right now, the initial lean is we like Daryl over Devonta just a little bit here in Week 6. So those are the pay down guys. Everybody wants to know about the pay up guys. And it does sound like Christian McCaffrey is going to return this week. Faked this out a little bit last week, logging limited practices all week, then given the inactive on game day after the doubtful tag. Another limited practice, I guess, logged here on Wednesday here of Week 6, but The reporters around the team are all reporting the expectation as he returns against the Minnesota Vikings for this game. Had a similar situation last year where McCaffrey missed like 6 or 7 games and returned in the middle of the season against the Chiefs. Immediately had, let me see here, about 18 carries and 10 targets against the Chiefs in that game, week 8 or week 9 or so of the 2020 season. There's little reason to expect McCaffrey doesn't step right back into that elite role. And on DraftKings at 8,800 with the expected upside in the passing game, even at 10,000 on FanDuel, very, very strong play at the running back position. More to the point, though, if you're not going to pay up for McCaffrey at running back, what exactly are you going to pay up for? The next best thing here is probably Austin Eckler in a likely game stack environment against Baltimore Ravens. Dalvin Cook questionable again with that high ankle sprain. Our thoughts on that is we're kind of out on him while he's dealing with that. Get down to Aaron Jones at 73, Nick Chubb 72, Elliott 71. There's really nobody else in McCaffrey's class as far as salary goes. So, if you're playing McCaffrey, your lineup has to go a certain way, but you're probably going to be playing a couple of the guys we talked about earlier in Williams and Booker, at least one of those guys if you're putting McCaffrey in your lineups. And frankly, you probably should do that if McCaffrey is active on Sunday. Darrell Henderson Jr. is pretty affordable and very clearly still the main guy in the backfield for the Los Angeles Rams. There was one series, I think, in the game last week where it looked like Sony played a bit. But other than that, Darrell Henderson basically dominated all the opportunity. Rams have the 8th best run blocking line right now. They're facing the 26th ranked run defense here from the Giants here in week 6. A better defense than expected against running backs in the passing game. So Darrell might have some issues there, but he's not as involved in the passing game as some of these other backs anyway. So he should have a fine day on the ground. Most importantly, Darrell has a lot of touchdown upside. He leads the Rams in all red zone touches, so inside the 20 touches, and that includes the week 3 game he missed. So if you remove that game, he's even better, if that makes sense. Sony Michel has 6 carries inside the red zone with Darrell Henderson in games that they've played together. That includes the game that Darrell Henderson got injured, right, late in week 2, and obviously last week where Sony got a drive. So Henderson with 10 carries, 2 targets in the red zone in all of his games this year has pretty high touchdown upside at just $6,000 as a 10-plus point favorite for the Rams against the Giants. Seems like a good spot to deploy him in lineup types this week. The other guy, and we were on him a couple weeks ago in what was honestly his worst game of the season, where he gave us just 8.9 fantasy points. But DeAndre Swift is going to be playable every single week with this kind of role. So he's got 8+ carries, 5+ targets every single week, 6+ targets in the last 3 weeks. Facing a Bengals defense that wasn't particularly great at defending Aaron Jones last week. Not that it necessarily matters what the matchup is with the usage that Swift is seeing in both the running and the passing game. You're starting to see, and we're starting to see as we evaluate this week, which frankly is a tougher week for DFS. The mid-range options at running back seem to be in play this week. So other than the pay down guys we talked about off the top of the video, other than McCaffrey, other than, to a lesser degree, Eckler, Ezekiel Elliott, Nick Chubb, seems like you'll see a lot of people playing running backs in these middle salary tiers across DraftKings and FanDuel in week 6. That's going to do it for this video. These are the running backs that we had highlighted for you. Is there a running back that we missed? Please leave a comment in the comment section below. We'd be happy to talk to you in there about your favorite running back or any of the running backs we discussed. Feel free to consider joining our Discord. Again, the link is above the description of the video. Every video we post, you can come in there and talk to the staff and other Occupy members about not just the NFL action coming up, but all the other sports that are going on in the DFS world as well. Keep an eye out for the Daily Plug. It'll publish by Friday on OccupyFantasy.com. Daily Plug is our article where we'll give you not just our favorite running back plays, but our favorite quarterbacks, wide receivers, tight ends, some advice on which contests you should play based off of the amount of dollars you have to deploy, and of course, the most important thing, how to play the types of contests you're selecting. So low-risk contests, high-risk contests, we'll give you the ways we think it's best to deploy the players that we think are the best plays this week in each contest type. Very important stuff for finding success in DFS. Once again, please make sure you're subscribed to the channel below. You'll get notified when we have a new video for you about not just the week 6 action, but showdown slates coming up. $1 million mission streams that Brian Jester's doing every Tuesday night. Those are important to watch for reviewing how a slate went and what the pros did. So make sure you're checking those out as well. That's going to do it for this video, folks. Thanks for watching. For Occupy, I'm Chris, and we'll talk to you soon.